Okay, if you're watching, we're just going to start in 2 minutes, trying to start actually at 6 o'clock. So be right there in a few minutes. Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is Suzanne, and this is the first time I'm trying this sort of extreme yoga class. Technical difficulties we have. Um, my dog might run in and want to join me. We'll see what happens. You might hear her whining also at some point. Um, so I thought that for today, since most of us are just at home, and I made the sense that some of us are also maybe a little new to yoga, we would do something a little more beginner friendly and also something that doesn't require any props. So if you have a mat, great, get on your mat. And also make sure that there's some room kind of left and right of your mat, because eventually we're going to do something where you have to swing your leg off to the side. I'm actually going to move my mat a little bit. But other than that, you won't need any props or anything like that. I also will see if the camera works. I might get cut off my head a little bit, or I might be off the long edges a little bit. Okay, so let's see how this goes. We'll start with child's pose. So you can have your big toes touching, and then you bring your knees wide apart, as wide apart as is comfortable at this point in the day. And then you walk your hands forward and see if you can get your forehead on the floor by itself. And if that doesn't happen, then you can prop your forehead up. So you can put like a sweater or a book or a block if you have one underneath your forehead. But you definitely want your forehead grounded. And then stay there and keep listening to me. Sometimes I'll show you guys what we're supposed to be doing, and sometimes I'll just be talking. So close your eyes, feel your forehead rooting down, tension. And bring your attention to your breath, to your body. And using the breath as a way to move away mentally and physically from anything that's happening outside of this little mat space. And we're not changing the breath just yet, we're just observing it. We're observing how it feels. Maybe the breath has a certain temperature to it. Maybe a certain depth. And then on your next inhale, pick up your head, pick up your hips a little bit away from the floor, and walk your hands over to the right edge of your mat. Then inhale, lengthen out your spine, maybe creep your fingers forward, longer arms. And on the exhale, you let your hips drop back. Maybe drop your head down to the floor. And feel a stretch on the left side of your body, all the way from your left hip, all the way up to your left fingertips. On each inhale, maybe lengthen out your spine. Maybe on the exhale, you want to walk your hands over to the right a little bit more and relax your head. On the inhale, walk your hands back to the center. You're going to just pick up your right arm and thread it underneath the left one. So you'll end up with the back of your hand on the floor. And then if it's comfortable for your neck, you can just put the side of your head down and kind of look underneath this armpit. And you can really stay light on this hand that's up there. Maybe you want to walk the hand forward a little bit more. Maybe press this hand into the floor and turn your ribcage open a little bit more. Feel how this changes the breath. On each inhale, maybe the left side of your ribcage feels a little bigger. On the exhale, maybe you're twisting a little bit more. Active hands, active arms. Side, both hands walk over to the left. Inhale, lift up the hips a little bit, reach the hands forward. And exhale, relax the hips down. Next inhale, walk your hands back to the center. And then you're going to pick up your right arm and slide it underneath your left one. No, sorry, other side. Left arm is underneath the right one. And we're going to end up on the back of the hand on the floor. Notice if one side is a little bit different. And we're still not changing the breath. We're still not changing any, we're not kind of changing any feelings in the body. We're just trying to accept everything as it comes. Right lung will feel really open on the inhale. And on the inhale, we're going to bring both hands back to the center and roll up to a tabletop position, hands and knees. So you can get your knees right underneath your hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders. Really spread your fingers wide and your middle finger is pointing forward. And on the inhale, you let your belly drop towards the floor. Your hips follow and tilt. Maybe you want to look forward. And on the exhale, we round our spine, tuck our chin, feeling lots of space between the shoulder blades. And back and forth like this. And we're going to inhale through our nose. And over our mouth and exhale. Totally deflating the body. A few times like this. You're trying to fog up a mirror. Inhale, we're going to go through the nose again. You can keep your mouth closed this time. Keep that little sound in your throat as you exhale. Your mouth stays closed. Try this a few more times. I'm not sure if you can hear it on the recording. But it sort of has like a rushing sound in your throat. It's called Ujjayi breath. And it helps to build heat in the body. And it also gives your brain something to focus on rather than your own thoughts. Kind of creates a nice base static in our brain. Cool. On your next inhale, come through to a neutral spine. So it's between those two extremes. And then walk your knees back a little bit until you have a nice straight line from your shoulders all the way down to your knees. You already feel your core working here. On the exhale, we're going to look at our elbows and make sure our elbow creases are pointing forward. And on the exhale, you bend your elbows. Maybe it's just a little bit for today. And then inhale, extend your arms and open up your hips. You can turn your eyeballs up towards the sky. On the exhale, shift yourself back to a child's pose. We're going to go back and forth. Inhale to slide forward, so shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, bend the elbows. You just lower a little bit to the floor. Inhale, extend the arms, open up your chest. Your hips will feel really quite heavy. And on the exhale, long spine, child's pose. Try one more round on your own. And exhale, child's pose. Okay, this time we're going to inhale, shift our shoulders over our wrists. Exhale, bend our elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then we're going to tuck our toes and fix our hips up all the way for downward facing dog. First one of the day, probably. So have your feet hips width distance apart. Have your hands shoulder width distance apart. And your fingers are still spread wide. They haven't really changed.
And then make sure that your back feels really, really long. So it's always a good idea to kind of bend your knees and then shift your hips back and up towards the sky, like you're pressing the floor away. So if you look at me from the side, you can see that there's kind of like a triangle, but this side of the triangle is really long. It's nice and straight. Whereas it's okay to have the knees bent. We're not really worrying about that side of the triangle that much. You can let your head relax, shake it out a little bit. And on the inhale, let's pick up our heels really high. On the exhale, just drop them down. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. 2 more times, inhale. And exhale. Good, last time, inhale, pick them up. Stay there, we're gonna exhale, bend our knees really deeply. Glue your belly to your thighs, look at your hands. And then step or hop your feet to your hands. You can do a few steps. You can do one big step. And then on the exhale, fold forward, relax your head. You can shake it out a little bit. Have your feet at least hips width distance apart. Bend your knees and grab a hold of your elbows. And then we're gonna just take a ragdoll position. You swing yourself around, left to right. You can really bend your knees. It feels like your torso is lying on your thighs. Then let your hands dangle, let your head hang, and we're gonna keep our knees a little bit bent and take 3 breaths to bring ourselves up to standing. So you slowly roll up, feeling one vertebra stack on top of the next. There's absolutely no rush. Your head is the last thing. Good. And then we'll try some shoulder rolls. So inhale, shoulders up and forward. Open your mouth and exhale down and back. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. So you could touch a wall back behind you with your shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. Super. So bring your feet together. Have your hands together at heart center. You will probably be at the top of your mat. I'm just in the middle so you guys can see me better. And on the inhale, open up your arms. Lift your gaze, bring your palms together. So you can really bend your knees here so your hands are totally on the ground, fingers spread wide. And step yourself back to a high plank position. So feeling lots of length from your shoulders all the way down to your heels. And we're going to drop our knees again and revisit that thing we did before. So inhale here. Exhale, bend your elbows. They go right next to your rib cage. So it's not really like a normal push-up, it's a little different. And then you inhale, extend your arms, and open up your chest. And then tuck your toes, shift your hips back, and we all meet up in downward facing dog. If you ever want a break during the class, you can also take child's pose. That's the very first thing we did in the class. Anytime we get to downward facing dog, you also have a chance to notice the changes in the body, or you can take any movement that feels helpful. So you can see I'm walking my heels out a little bit. Alrighty. On your next exhale, let's drop our knees down to the floor and find the tabletop position again. That kind of box straight back behind you. And if you look at your right toes, they should put straight down at the floor. So that means that your hips are closed and parallel to the floor. And then you can stay like that. You can also take your left arm forward, make it a little harder. And I'm feeling really long from this hand all the way down to the heel. Good. I'm just going to stay here for a few breaths. Let the core warm up. Now the next exhale, we're going to put down the hand and we're going to open up the right hip. I'm going to turn around so you guys can see this better. So when I say open up the right hip, you stack the right hip on top of the left so that your toes are now pointing out towards the side. You can feel your right hand maybe getting lighter. You can kick your bottom shin back a bit. Maybe bring your hand up to your hip. Maybe open up your arm to the sky. So you feel like you're turning your whole body open to the long edge of your mat. It actually helps to kind of pick up the foot a little higher, really flex the foot. This is called half moon pose. We just made it shorter. It's closer to the floor. Alrighty. I'm going to inhale here. And then exhale, just put your hand down, square off your hips so your toes face the mat again, and swing your leg off to the right. You did before, walk your hands over to the top right corner of your mat. And then you're really feeling like you're exaggerating the stretch on the left side of the body. So your left hip is drawing back, it almost like touch the floor, and the left hand is maybe crawling a little further away. And then we inhale, we're going to come back with our hands right underneath our shoulders and just come up to stand on this knee and stand on this foot. Good. Take your arms out left and right, and then drop your right hand onto the straight leg. Lift your left arm up. And on the exhale, we're going to lean over our straight leg. If you want to make this a little bit harder, this arm that's on your straight leg can wrap kind of behind you and find your left hip. Notice if you have a tendency to kind of round down towards the floor here, rather feel quite narrow, like you're sliding between two walls, sort of. And let's inhale to come up. Arms left and right, and then exhale, put your hands down right underneath your shoulders, and swing your right leg to the back of the mat. The left foot steps back to join it, so we're in our plank position. If you want to do a little vinyasa here, you can. So inhale. Maybe you keep the knees high this time, and you bend the elbows right next to your ribcage. Then inhale, extend your arms. You have to be on the toenails. You have to kind of shift yourself forward. You have to flip them over. And turn the gaze. And then we roll over the toes. We tuck them. Let's walk our hands to the back of our mat, so back to your feet. And bring your feet together right next to each other. And bend your knees. And on the inhale, sweep your arms up into a chair position. So chair position is characterized by your toes being really light and your hips having all the weight. So your weight is kind of shifting back into your butt. All right, we're going to inhale here. Maybe try coming up onto our toes and picking up our heels. And then we exhale, dropping the heels down. A few more times like this. Inhale. First, you're kind of messing with the chair pose in a way. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Alrighty, let's inhale, just stand up, straighten your legs. Reach your arms up towards the sky. We're going to try some real handstand later. The great part about us being at home is that maybe we have a wall nearby to practice on. If we don't, either way we can really build some strength and work towards this fun pose. All right, last inhale here. And the exhale, fold forward. You can really bend your knees, relax your head, relax your shoulders. And then inhale, walk yourself back either to a plank position or a downward facing dog. If you're doing the vinyasa, then you inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Last exhale, we're going to drop our knees down to the floor and find our tabletop position again. Turn around again so you guys can see the hip on this side. So stack all your joints, engage your core, and send your left leg straight back behind you. Left toes now point down to the floor. And maybe if you try the other side, you can add on your right arm, like you're shaking someone's hand. Last inhale here. And exhale, just bring your right hand down to the floor. And we're going to open up our left hip on top of the right. So you can feel your left hand getting right. It's often helpful to bump this shin that's on the floor kind of back. It makes your base bigger. Maybe bring your hand up to your hip. Maybe left hand up towards the sky. Really feel like you're pressing the floor with the hand, pressing the floor away with your knee. And this leg is nice and long and high. Look up or down. Up will usually be a little harder. Last inhale. And then exhale, we're going to put the hand down. Just square off the hips. And then we're going to swing the leg off to the left. And we're going to put it down over there. Now your hands will walk over to the top left corner, or maybe it floats. And let's inhale to bring our hands back to the center underneath our shoulders. And then walk ourselves up until we're standing on this knee and on this foot. Already feeling that sense that we're kind of very narrow. We can kind of slide between two walls or something. All right, take your arms out left and right. And then you're going to let your arm drop over the straight leg. And the other arm reaches up and overhead. It's a little side bend. You can look underneath your armpit if it's comfortable for your neck. And try this on the other side. You can make the arm that's on your straight leg into a half bind. So it kind of wraps back behind you and it finds your other hip. Good. And then let's inhale to come up left and right with the arms. Exhale, plank the hands down. Swing the left leg to the back of the mat. And the right foot joins it, plank position. And here we go. Maybe we do a little vinyasa. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, upward facing. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Feeling that length in the spine. Maybe shaking your head out, taking any movement that feels good. On the inhale, pick up your right leg. And just like before, have your right toes pointing straight down at the floor. So although it feels easier to kind of just get them up wherever it lands, we really want to control the toes, the hips, so they're closed, turning down to the floor. Inhale here, pick the leg a little higher. And exhale, we're just going to let the right leg sink and gently tap our toes down to the floor. Inhale, pick up your right leg. And exhale to lower. Nice. One last time. Nice. So we're building strength in both hamstrings, actually. Okay, this time we're going to inhale, pick it up. Pick up the other heel too. Look at your hands. And step your right foot between your hands. And then stay here for a second. Maybe you need to scooch your back leg back more so your leg is totally straight. And you want this front knee directly over your heel. All right. We're going to come up to our high lunge. Feel free to go slowly. And take your arms up when you're ready. All right, here we are in our high lunge position. So the back leg is as straight as possible. If you're already feeling a little bit wobbly, you're welcome to stay here. Or you can try this movement. So you would inhale, extend your both legs long. On the exhale, if you want, you bend both knees. Maybe your back knee gently taps the floor. Inhale, extend both legs. And exhale. You can also make the movement a little smaller if you're feeling kind of wobbly today. 2 more times. You can relax your shoulders, just let your legs do the work. Relax your jaw. And exhale. Okay, we're going to inhale, extend both legs. Try and stay here. And see if again you can flex your hands like you're pressing your hands in the ceiling, kind of like a flipped over handstand. Squeezing your inner thighs together, your core is working. Really good. Inhale. And then exhale, just bend your front knee. Bring your hands to heart center. And we're going to twist to the right. Maybe you stay high up here, or maybe you take this into a lower twist. So this elbow maybe crosses your knee and goes on the other side of your knee. And then I'm not going to do all the way because I don't might be able to look at you guys. We're going to maybe gently press into that knee and turn ourselves open towards the right. Or edge of the mat. And the gaze usually goes over your front hand, so it's your right hand. Great. Inhale here. Exhale, drop your back hand on the straight leg and take your arm up and overhead reverse warrior. We kind of did this already on the floor before, just kind of a shorter version. Good. And then just kind of intensify this. We're going to maybe straighten our front leg. Imagine you could really touch the back corner of your mat. Inhale. Exhale, just bend your front knee. Feel how it changes. Alrighty. And on the inhale, come back to warrior two. And just extend your front leg long again. And on the inhale, reach your front hand forward as much as you can, like you're reaching horizontally to the floor. Then on the exhale, we're just going to hand drop wherever it lands on that leg. And then your other arm maybe reaches up towards the sky. You can look kind of beyond the hand. Keep breathing here. I'm just going to turn on a light or two to see that it's getting dark. Alrighty. On the inhale, we're going to come all the way up to standing. And then bring your hands to your hips and turn your back foot so it faces more towards the top of the mat, and turn your hips towards the top of the mat. It's possible that it looks like this. Or sometimes you can get your hands together in sort of like reverse prayer position. Whichever one you're doing, on the inhale, lengthen out your spine. On the exhale, keep your spine straight and start to fold forward. You go as slow as you need to. It might feel like your hips are kicking back so that you can balance your torso. Good. And we're really feeling we're building strength in the back here, right? It would be easier if we just flopped over this leg, but we're actually resisting the pull of gravity in a way. Okay, we're going to inhale to go up just like halfway and bring our hands to our heart center. Then bend into your front knee, and still, if you can shift forward and pick up your back leg into a warrior three. So we're still quite kind of parallel to the floor. If you were to look at your back toes, it would be pointing at the floor because our hips are closed. Additional challenge to take the arms out left and right. Another additional challenge is to reach the arms forward. Inhale here. And exhale so you can come up to standing. Just bring your feet together, reach your arms up. Inhale, reach really, really high. And then the exhale, relax your arms. Good job. Nice. All right, bring your feet together, bring your hands together if they're not already. And on the inhale, open up your arms. And on the exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen out your spine. And then ground your hands and step the right foot back and then the left foot. Your choice what you do here. Inhale. And exhale, maybe you lower. Inhale, extend the arms, turn your gaze up towards the ceiling. And tuck your toes, shift your hips back for downward facing dog. On your next inhale, pick up your left leg. So left toes point straight down at the floor. It's going to feel a little harder than if we were just let it open. Inhale here. Exhale, keep the leg straight. We're just letting the leg slowly sink until it can tap the mat. Inhale, pick it up. And exhale, lower. Almost like we're letting the leg kind of fall through water. And then let's inhale, pick up the leg. Pick up the other heel too. We're kind of creating more height. Look at your hands. Step your left foot up between your hands. And then check in with your feet, maybe putting a little bit more distance. And then as you wish, we're coming up to a high lunge position. Sometimes one side is quite wobbly, pretty normal. When you're ready, arms come up. So both of your hips also face forward here. You can literally take your hands and just kind of encourage your hips forward. Great. If you tried this on the other side, you're welcome to try this again here. Inhale, extend both legs. Exhale, bend both knees. Maybe your back knee does like a gentle little tap on the floor. Good. 2 more times. Last time. And exhale. Nice job. Inhale, we're going to extend both legs. And then just bend your front knee. Bring your hands to heart center. And we're going to inhale. And exhale, try and twist to the left. Good. Maybe you stay high up here, or maybe if you find that your elbow could maybe cross your knee, put the elbow on the outside of your knee. And then we're twisting, maybe looking up towards the sky. Good. Make sure sometimes we get a little lazy in the back leg. Really just keep pressing through the back ball of that foot. Let's inhale to come back to the center and extend our arms up. So I forgot something, so we have to add an on here. We're going to extend both legs long. I'm going to flex our hands, so like this, but your arms are straight. Like you're pressing the ceiling away, a little bit of split handstand. Inhale. Okay, now exhale, we're going to bend the front knee. We're going to open out to warrior two on this side. So you're back ready. On the inhale, I'm going to drop the back hand, pick the left arm up and over. And on the exhale, maybe reach back. Maybe you want to extend this front leg, kind of intensifying that feeling of length from this front toe all the way. Different on this side. Extend the front leg long and turn all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat and bring your hands to your hips. I'm going to turn around. So all 10 toes are facing off the long right edge of your mat. And have your toes a little bit inside of your heels. On the inhale, lengthen out your spine, lift your gaze. On the exhale, we're going to fold forward and bring our hands down to the floor. So if the floor feels a little far away today, you can first try walking your feet a little further apart. If you have blocks or books at home or something, you can also bring your hands up a little higher underneath whatever you're using. And then we'll do this from the side. You can really see that the weight in the feet is very important here. So a lot of us have a tendency to kind of send our hips way back and our toes are really light. See if you can walk your hands kind of forward, shift more weight into your toes. And then, maybe that's enough. Maybe you want to walk your hands more underneath you, kind of between your feet. And this kind of gets you more into position to relax your head a bit more. Let the feeling of gravity kind of pulling on your spine down towards the floor happen. And you're really pressing your toes into the floor. Alrighty. And we're going to walk our hands out kind of more underneath our shoulders. So we're spreading our fingers wide. And on the inhale, we're just going to try pushing with our toes, picking up our heels. And exhale, dropping heels down to the floor. 2 more times like this. Inhale. You can shift more weight into your hands also. And exhale. It's kind of like a handstand prep. One last time. Shift your weight forward into your hands, pick up your hips. And exhale down. Woo, okay. Bring your hands to your hips. And on the inhale, come all the way up to standing. Good. Get a little bit of a rush. Take a few deep breaths. And get back into position. And you're going to turn your front toes forward, your left toes forward. And take your arms up. This is the other side of triangle pose. So inhale, reach your front arm forward. Super horizontal. And then exhale, we're going to put the hand down on the front leg. Anywhere is fine. You can look up or down. Usually get up is a little harder. And keep breathing here. On the inhale, let's come up to standing. Bring our hands to our hips. Turn your back foot in a little bit. And have both hips turn to face the front of the mat. Cool. Maybe walk your feet in a little bit further. It shouldn't feel too kind of tight ropey, more kind of like 2 train tracks. Feel free to walk your feet more left and right. Same option you took for the hands on the other side, either grabbing the elbows or bringing the hands together. Here we go. We're going to inhale, lengthen out our spine. On the exhale, keep both hips facing forward, yeah? Also, a thing that will happen, you'll notice that your hip that's attached to your back leg will start to open as if you're kind of trying to go out to the side. But actually, we want both hips facing straight forward. We're just allowing, with every exhale, the torso to go down a little bit deeper. Alrighty. Let's inhale, just come up halfway. So your torso is like about parallel to the floor. Release your hands to in front of your chest and bend your front knee. And then we're gonna come into a warrior three. Shift your weight forward to that front foot. Pick up your back leg. You can challenge yourself to let the back leg fully counterweight the upper body. All right, maybe you want to take the arms out left and right. A little bit harder is taking the arms forward next to your head. And then we're going to come up to standing, feet together, reach the arms up. Big inhale, reach high. And exhale, relax the arms. Beautiful, everyone. Let's bring our hands to heart center, feet together. And inhale, open up the arms. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen out your spine. And exhale, ground your hands and step your left foot back and then your right foot into a plank position. And your version of the vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale, open up your chest. Make sure your fingers are still spread wide. They're not kind of clawing away. And on the exhale, tuck your toes, shift your hips back for downward facing dog. Good. Absorbing any changes that you're observing. Remember that length in the spine. So we're a little bit warmer. Maybe you feel like you can maybe straighten your legs a little bit longer. Feel like you're shifting your hips back and up even more. Relax your head. And on the next exhale, we're going to drop our knees down to the ground. And finding our tabletop position. And let's take our right leg back behind us, just like before. This time we're going to inhale, bring this leg off to the right, off to the side, kind of where we had it before. And then exhale, we're going to swing it back to the middle and all the way to the other side. Maybe you can look over at that foot. Inhale, over to the right. And exhale, try and keep it floating. Ideally at hip height, theoretically at hip height. We'll see if that happens. It's okay if it doesn't. And back. Alrighty. We're going to inhale, take the leg out to the side again, to the right. And we're going to put it down again. And then come up to standing again. Cool. And try something a little bit different on this side. So we're going to take your arms out left and right. And you're going to bring your hands back behind you and make a little basket behind your lower back. All right, on the inhale, you're going to extend your arms, open up your chest. And exhale, do a little bit of a back bend. So just shift your hips forward. Open up your chest. And maybe your hand can reach back and find your heel. It's okay if it doesn't. All right, we're going to inhale to come up. Reach your arms up. And on the exhale, put your hands down right underneath your shoulders. Then you're going to thread your right arm up. And on the exhale, thread the right arm behind the left. It's going to be a little higher away from the floor than we did this before. Walk your other hand forward off the top of your mat. And we're pressing with both hands on the floor, maybe turning your rib cage open to the sky a little bit more. It's okay if you don't come all the way down to the ground. It might be kind of floating. All right, and let's inhale, just unwind our hands back to where they were. See if you can just pick up the right foot to float. And exhale to bring it to the back of the mat. All right, little optional vinyasa if you want. You can step yourself back to plank from here. This is on sides of the body. One side has technically been worked a little bit more than the other. Notice what that feels like. On your next exhale, drop your knees down to the ground for our tabletop. Let's try the other side. So your left leg goes back. And on the inhale, we're going to swing it way off to the left. And on the exhale, way off to the middle, and then crossing the body, maybe off to the right. And inhale, if you're practicing with someone, maybe you can help them out and grab their foot. Help them out a little bit. Maybe not. All right, and then we're going to end up with that leg off to the left. So you can pick up a little higher. And exhale, put it down. So we were here before. Inhale, take your arms up. We're kneeling on that knee and on the foot. They're also in kind of one line if you look at them. And then take the arms out left and right. And exhale, wrap the hands back behind you in a little basket. Inhale, extend the arms up, or long rather. And on the exhale, a little bit of back bend. As your hips shift forward, you're opening up your chest. Maybe you can loosen your basket, and one hand finds that back heel. If you feel really far away, it's okay. And let's inhale to come up, reach the arms up. And exhale, put your hands down underneath your shoulders. And take your left arm up, reach high. And thread your left arm underneath the right. So your shoulder will probably not touch the ground, just your hand, the back of your hand. You walk your other hand off the top of your mat. All right, let's walk our hands back underneath our shoulders. And again, get your left leg up and then back to the back of the mat. Right leg joins it. And a little optional vinyasa. So exhale to lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. Just going to check the time, guy. And let your left heel be really heavy, your ankle kind of relax. All right, inhale here. And exhale. You're going to bring this right foot forward and just step it kind of in the middle of your mat. So like in between your hands and your back foot. Then pick up your other leg, your left leg. And here's our handstand prep. You're going to start on the inhale. Pick up your heel really high. Pick up the leg really high. Feel the weight shift into your hands. And then exhale, shift back the heel, find the floor. And maybe you want to come up onto your fingertips. So bring back and forth. Inhale, weight in your hands. Pick up your heel, shift yourself forward. And exhale, drop the heel, shift back. All right, maybe you want to try some pickups. So you have to kind of press with the heel, kick the leg up. If you have a wall nearby, you can practice with the wall. And you're trying to get your hips up over your shoulders. And then when you're done, come down into a child's pose, or maybe just sit back on your heels. Maybe the adrenaline pumping, the breath pumping. Good. Switch the direction of your circles. All right. And we have one more side to do. So we're going to put down our hands, find downward facing dog. And pick up your left leg. And then open up your hip. And you can really try and get your heel closer to your butt. Right, kind of squeeze it in, and then put your knee more up towards the sky. So it's kind of like, actually see it on the camera pretty well, it's like the point of a triangle. And then we're going to bring this left foot forward, kind of in between our hands and our feet. The right leg goes up. Then you either can play with shifting the weight back, so inhale, weight into your hands, pick up your heel, like get your hips over your shoulders. And then exhale, stick everything back. Maybe you come up onto your fingertips. Inhale, shift forward. And exhale. Maybe you want to keep doing that, or maybe you want to play kind of more dynamic, energetic bursts of energy. Kicking your right leg up, pushing off with the left. Maybe you want to try going to the wall, trying it there. Then when you're done, we find child's pose, or we just sit back. And this time, bring your hands kind of back behind you. And do the little basket there. You can kind of move it around, but this is where you open your shoulders up, your neck up a bit. Lift your arms, your hands. Great. And let's just come through to a seated position. You want to kind of come forward, cross your ankles, roll over them. You can also go from the side. As long as we end up with both legs straight, we're in business. So We'll take a version of the seated posture that's better for our wrists after all the handstand stuff. So you're gonna just flip your hands over, put the tops of your hands on the floor. You're gonna find a place for your hands where your arms are straight. Sometimes this is forward or back a bit. And then really flex your feet. Maybe you can flex them so much that the heels, because of your calves being like little pillows, they kind of float. Let's just try this here. We're gonna inhale, press the backs of our hands on the floor. Lengthen out your spine, lengthen out your legs. And on the exhale, drop your chin down to your chest. That's all. We're just focusing on having our spine straight. Feeling the breath coursing through the body. Having our legs straight at the same time. Nice. Let's inhale to lift the gaze. And exhale to walk our hands down towards our feet. Feel free to grab somewhere on your legs and see if you can lengthen out your spine on the inhale. So almost like you're trying to go back to the memory of having that really straight spine. On the exhale, keep your spine really straight and fold forward just a little bit. Stay there. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Away from your ears, they're soft. Great. And on the inhale, we're going to come up to seated position. And I think we're just going to lie down. So you can scoot your butt forward a little bit, plant your feet, and roll down as you'd like. All right. So setting up for a bridge position. When you extend your arms next to your body, you want to have your fingertips be able to touch your heels. And your feet are hips width distance apart. Okay, so press your arms into the floor. And on the inhale, lift your hips up. Feel your spine peel away from the floor. And your arms can stay like this on the floor, or you can make a little basket with your hands. And then when you straighten your arms, sometimes it'll feel like your shoulders and your elbows want to tuck underneath you a bit more. This is by no means mandatory, it's just optional. Great. Keep your toes light. And feel the breath. Sometimes you feel the breath really intensely moving in the belly. A little bit of strength here. We're going to try picking up our right leg and kicking it up right up towards the sky, like you're trying to stand that foot on the floor. Maybe you want to circle out your ankle a few times. And notice what's happening to that left foot, left leg. Keep pushing with that left foot, lifting your hips up a little higher. Almost done. Inhale. And exhale to put the right foot down. Squeeze up the feet. And try the other side. Inhale, left leg up. Maybe circle out the foot, pointing, flexing. And notice what's happening with your hips. Maybe they've sunk a little bit. Think about that. So we kind of reset the hips, nice and symmetrical on both sides. And on the exhale, relax your hands, relax your hips down to the floor. And bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees go wide apart. So your legs end up making this sort of diamond shape. Maybe you want to bring your hands to your lower belly. Relax your jaw and feel the back of your head. Let's bring our knees together. Hug our knees into our chest. And roll up to a seated position. And then take a normal bound angle pose. We just took it lying down. We're going to take it seated now. So you can fold forward. Really actually pull on your feet. Use them to kind of get yourself a little bit deeper. Just checking the time. Super. All right. We're going to inhale to come up out of this. And take a final vinyasa all together. So bring your knees together and hug your knees into your chest. All right. And for the final vinyasa, you can kind of cross your ankles, plant them, You can kind of hop back or crawl back. As long as you get back to a plank position, it's fine. And then your mostest, bestest, wonderfulest vinyasa. Inhale, exhale to lower. Inhale, extend the arms, open up your chest, pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. And on the exhale, tuck your toes, shift your hips back, feeling length in your spine. Feel free to take any final movements that you feel like your body needs. You can like shake a little bit. You can shake your head. Or some people find that they feel quite still at the end of the practice. It's like we've rung up the body. And then we're going to come into our Shavasana. So get back down to lying down. You can drop your knees, cross your ankles, and roll over your ankles and lie down. If you're going to be cold, you can put on a blanket, put on your socks or your sweater, whatever you need. And we're going to just lie here for a few minutes. This is actually technically a pose, but we just hold it for a long time. So you can really take up a lot of room. Make sure you're comfortable. Maybe get rid of a ponytail or something. Take up lots of room with your feet, with your arms, and turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes. And let's first let go of that intentional breath. We're just going to let the breath flow and do what it wants to do. Maybe let's all take a big inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and let it all go. From now on, the breath is just going to flow. And notice what's happening in your body. And allow the body to fully relax, get really soft and heavy for the next few minutes. And often when we release control over the mind and over the body and the breath, then the mind will start to run around demanding our attention. So see if you can just imagine that every new thought that pops into your mind is like a cloud on an otherwise totally sunny and blue sky day. And the thought will drift into your mind, just like this cloud, but it will drift away, out of your sight, out of your mind. Let your body be still, your mind be quiet. Let your breath be the only thing that's flowing on its own. Start to deepen your breath back into your toes. Maybe you want to let your head roll, or circle out your wrists and your ankles. And if you want, you can take a nice big stretch. Take your arms up next to your ears. Really point your toes, reach with your fingers, take a big inhale. And roll a little bit from side to side. And then roll onto your right side. Maybe you bring your forehead down to the floor. And then come into a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed. When you get there, bring your hands together at heart center. Just observe the difference in them. We'll start just by taking another inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. And then bow your forehead down towards your fingertips. Open your eyes and just look at your fingertips. And then bring your thumbs up to your forehead. And we bow to each other and to ourselves. We usually say namaste. So, namaste. All right, thank you very much, everyone. This has been a really interesting experience doing this for the first time, and I appreciate your willingness to try this with me. So as I said when I was promoting the class, just come closer. I was promoting the class that this is just a donation-based class because I've never done this before. So in both of the posts, there should be links to either donate to Emily, and a lot of my friends are musicians and singers, and so I'm hoping that by donating money to them, I could potentially help someone in my greater circle of people that I know. And if maybe you have only a German bank account, or it's too complicated to do it in dollars, you can just pay me through PayPal, and I will funnel the money through to them. And I will do a little update on how much we raise and stuff like that. So I hope you all stay safe. I hope you all stay sane. I hope this was helpful to you. And just keep your eyes peeled for any more posts. We'll see how this went. I also will try and get a recording of this video onto YouTube so people can watch it later, practice to it later. So thank you so much. I really hope you have a wonderful evening, and take care. Bye-bye.